you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you. Oh!
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your captain, Jimbob Shorts, and tonight, Bandit's joining me for a really cool guest that you guys may have seen online bouncing around or, sharing different things all over social media and stuff. He's really hard to miss. In fact, he's usually holding a sign that says, Kim Kardashian ruined my life.com. Mr. Dave Liebensohn is a super cool fella who has come upon some hard times after making a bad deal with, that one chick that Kanye used to be married to. And I happened to cross him on TikTok and thought that I should give him a platform for him to come tell his story and things like that, which here it is. This one was originally filmed on May 10th in 2023. Of course, this is one of the back episode logs that we were talking about, but me and Bandit had an absolute blast with this fellow, and he told us all of the details and a bunch of the spicy in-betweens, and this was a really cool conversation. And I want to bring it to your guys' attention because, I really doubt that Kim Kardashian is the only person that's in the elite group out here sticking it to people, quicker than they need it stuck to them. So this, and of course I will have the links at everyone's favorite website to get back to everything that Dave's got going on and for you to learn more about the story and even reach out to him yourself, of course, if you'd like. And of course, you'll be able to find all of that over on everyone's favorite website online. You know where I'm going, unconstitutionalawakening.com. Man, we got all kinds of great things going on over there. Y'all make sure y'all get over there and check in every now and then, man. You can find all the links to where you can find us on to visually watch us, all the links to find us to listen to us right there on the website. Check out our merch store, as well as our friends in Liberty, Kirk Elliott, Peach Key, Ammo Can, Brett Pike with Classical Learners, and Homeschools Connected, and Pure Pet Wellness. There's also some links down there to find us on social media, man. We have social medias hooked up out there for everything. We got Capt'n Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates on Facebook, Defeat the Media on Facebook, Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast on Instagram and Twitter. We are all over the place. You can even find us over there on TikTok as well under Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, or Jimbob Shorts 101. I try to make sure we're a little bit of everywhere so that you guys can keep up with all of our crazy nonsense all the time. Over in the host section of the website, you can also find ways to get back to all of your favorite hosts' direct social medias. Because who knows? Maybe you don't like to deal with me. Maybe you want to talk to Bandit. Maybe you want to talk to Neptune. Maybe you're a Luis guy. It doesn't matter. Either way, you'll be able to get back to all of them, and where you can find everybody right there at unconstitutionalawakening.com, man. And I want you guys to make sure you take some time out of your day to go, check out Dave and give him some love too, man, because that man is fighting a good fight, living out of his car, trying to take on the Kardashians. I mean, I'm 100% behind him, so we need some more folks behind him, y'all. So, well, I'm going to weigh anchor on this nonsense that I'm doing so that we can go on ahead and get over into this, because I'm excited to bring this to you guys. And I was telling you guys in the opening there, we've got David, and I don't want to say your last name wrong, man, so I'm going to let you say it because I butcher everything under the sun. It's
Liebensohn. The H is silent, so just Liebensohn.
Liebensohn. See, I told you guys I was going to get it wrong at the beginning. That's usually how I roll with things. So, but man, as I was trying to tell you before we got started, I come across you on YouTube because, you guys know how my life goes out there watching me when it comes to being banned on everything. And I come across this guy's story, and it was right up my alley for things that are fascinating and interesting. And I wanted him to come here and tell it himself. So, David, would you mind catching everybody up on why you have that fantabulous shirt on this afternoon?
Well, thanks for having me on, first of all. I stumbled across a partnership with Kim Kardashian and her mother back in 2014. Myself and two co-founders had an app named Censorgram, and it automatically removed comments off of Instagram. They were very interested in using this app. Well, they used it already. We were on the App Store, and they were already using it. Then they decided they wanted to partner. So they had their friend Jonathan Chebin reach out to us to set up this arrangement to have a discussion about partnering. We go through the motions, conversation, then we make arrangements to go out to Calabasas and make our arrangements to partner on Censorgram. We also pitched another app that we were working on some emoji apps, and we pitched an idea named Kimoji at the same time because it was just, why not? We're going to go meet with Kim Kardashian. There's huge reach. We might as well.
I mean, I remember when all the different emoji boards were a popular kind of item there. I mean, they still kind of are, but I went to a, sorry to get off subject a little bit, but I went to a release of one of those emoji boards for Adult Swim, actually. And that's where I got my Adult Swim tattoos from, because that was
sweet.
Release of the emoji board was you could choose one of the emojis to get tattooed to you for the rest of your life.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
they were pretty fresh then.
Yeah.
In 2014, it was like, they were still new. There wasn't like Apple didn't integrate them into everything like, it is now. But
for sure,
they were wildly interested in the Kimoji, project. And so it kind of in a nutshell, what had happened is one of my partners got excited and texted a friend of his like, hey, your dream girl wants to partner with us, just like fangirl type messages, nothing malicious at all. We weren't trying to make money off her name or anything. We were looking into partnering, we weren't going to jeopardize anything. Well, apparently this gave her she kept it in her pocket, is what our lawyers said, to where she used this as like a breach of her confidentiality to her privacy, if you will, to basically threaten us each $5 million lawsuit, or we hand over whatever she wants and she won't sue us anymore. And we never even really understood why. We just had the most powerful, entertainment attorney on the planet threatening us and everything we've ever made, it was crazy, to say the least.
No, I mean, I've talked to people in the past, and I do hate that Luis isn't here with us this evening, because he works with people that Luis is the most interesting man in the world. That's all I know. Like he sends me photographs from some things that you only hear about on TV and such like that, because he's just always out there doing things, and he's in New York City and such. But it seems that it's a common factor when it comes to these people with larger bank accounts, these people with these higher profiles that can just kind of push their weight around. And that's kind of what inspired me was with what you got going on, is because, I've heard a lot of stories of people pushing their weight around and all these NDAs and blah, blah, blah. And people just kind of go the other direction because they don't want to face all of it. But, you're out here being like, you know what? No, I want my life back. And I can admit right up to that, man. Like, there's so many people that have been taken advantage of. And I think that it's good to see someone actually going on the forefront of the fight. Like,
I appreciate that. It's came in stages, man. Let me tell you, first we're like, confusion. We don't really know what was going on. And, anger. We start finding out like, hey, I think we were duped. We find out later, and let me back up a little bit. We had a patent. We had filed a provisional patent on Sensogram. So I'd already spent a bunch of money on, one of the best patent attorneys in the country. We were trying to get that process, patented and finalized. And this whole thing was interfered with, and then we come to find out that the very process we were trying to patent was then added to Instagram's settings with, and somehow Kim had something to do with, discussing our process with Kevin Systrom. That's the real scandal. Everybody was kind of hung up on Kimoji, but that part of it, the Instagram, and the Sensogram part of it, that's what had me so upset. And then later, obviously, they came out and made a ton of money with Kimoji, and Kanye was rapping about how much money they made, and they broke the app store, making $1 million a minute. Just layers of frustration through the years, and I just could never let it go.
I can understand, especially if you went through the actions to get the initial app, taken care of yourself, and then somehow both get pulled out from underneath the rug on you, and then
we tried,
but then you see, you end up seeing both of them do so well. That's, if anything, that's a slap in the face on top of the fact of, already being told to go kick rocks. And
people were like, hey, how come you didn't get a contract? Usually you don't walk out of the room of your partnership agreements, your discussions with signed contracts. Usually we're there with the full team is in there, multiple, witnesses, lawyers, assistants. We're not expecting to walk out with a signed contract or we're going to get screwed. That's not how it works. And we did everything we could as Americans to protect ourselves, to, file our patents, to file trademarks and everything we could. But it doesn't work for people like me unless you have enough money to fight against the people that want it more.
Right. That seems to be the person who can pay for the best lawyer is going to get the best outcome.
That's what it is,
regardless of being right or wrong. And that's, that in itself is something why I think, the judicial system is a complete joke in 2023, because
it's a big flaw for sure.
It seems that if you've got enough money, you can just pay your way around anything. And
you could screw somebody and then make them pay to prove it. That's basically what it is.
And the rest of us are out here, running around having to, we're already having to work 2 jobs because we're barely able to survive it as it is, let alone having to try to pay somebody an amount of money you'll probably barely see in your lifetime. You know what I mean?
And they spend on one vacation, $500,000 they spend on one vacation.
Like it's nothing to them.
Yep.
You were going to say something, Bandit?
Yeah. So let me try and break this down so I understand. She came on board with you. With you and you got partners?
2 partners. Yep.
2 partners. She came on board. And so she basically just wanted to take this for herself, or were there some disagreements on the direction it was going?
Well, my thoughts are, because all we could do is speculate until, hopefully she speaks up and says why this happened. So, we agreed for 60-40 split on Sensogram, to where we were going to be 60, she was going to be 40, her team was going to be 40, and Chris, she had said, Kris Jenner, that they had a family friend that was going to fund they were going to invest, they were going to fund it. So,
okay.
So that was kind of settled already. We had already, made these arrangements for Sensogram, and we sent our provisional patent file to their team. They had signed our NDA to get our patent file. We have all this documentation. And then somewhere in between, we went ahead and pitched Kimoji, but that was just extra. But so that was supposed to be 50-50. And what we're thinking, since Kimoji was going to be 50-50, since it was kind of our emoji projects, we had took our animated private jets and champagne bottles popping and shit like that. I'm not sure I could swear. Sorry if I did.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's free range on this episode.
Okay. So that kind of, dumb emoji stuff, basically, we had a Wall Street emoji and a sexy emoji app, and we combined those and we popped her name on it. We said, hey, Kimoji, just a quick thrown together thing for us to turn into such a major thing that she's put on, to this day, she sells stuff with Kimoji's name on it. Well, anyways, that was just small part of it for us, but I think he didn't want to have such a major involvement with us on something with her name on it. That's the only thing I can think. So they did everything they could. They realized they didn't need us for the comment control thing. Maybe Instagram said, hey, you know what? We're already going to be working on this a couple years down the road. It'll be there anyways. You don't need these guys. Somehow, whatever collusion between her and Instagram, he realized after they got our file for the patent stuff that they didn't need us. And then they also, besides that, didn't want to partner with some, who knows who these guys are to her, 50-50. You know what I mean? So that's all I can think.
I can see that right there, but I really don't think you're the first person to have. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to like make it sound bad or anything, but like I'm saying, like you're not the only person. You're the first person I know of speaking up, but you're not the only person to have something that they've been working on and have outside people, investors or whatever, just end up stealing. I mean, this is I'll make this joke all the time, even though it's played to death. Look at Thomas Edison. He didn't invent shit. He stole just about everything he had going on. And this is literally like the same kind of thing going on. It's the person with the money suddenly taking control of something you put hard work into.
Mm-hmm. So more or less.
So just so I'm clear on this, I just want to make sure I understand where this whole thing and how it started and how it's going. So this person comes along that thinks they are better than you in every way, partners with you, and thinks, oh, I don't need you anymore, and I don't like where this is going, so I'm going to take this all for myself, right? That's pretty much it?
Sounds like to me too.
Yeah, yeah. That almost sounds relatable.
And so, I mean,
that should be criminal. It should be criminal.
Yeah. Well, and that's where my next question was going to be is, I've seen and, reading and what's going on your website that you got there on your shirt, the Kim Kardashian ruinmylife.com, as well as I've been seeing you pop up on my YouTube feed. And, I'm seeing where, I mean, you've basically been drugged to rock bottom is what's inspired you to at least start into this fighting back thing. I mean, it seems, you seems to have lost a lot, and that's all because of this. It just went south after that.
It's just taking time, and just not being able to let go. I've had somebody else reach out to me that's had a bitter experience with Kris Jenner and Kim, and one of the things that resonated mostly with that person, they said, was that they can't let it go. They think about it every day because they're everywhere. You can't they're unavoidable. You can't like avoid them. They're just, whether you like it or not, you're going to hear something about that family. So it's not like getting screwed over in any other normal situation where you can eventually let it go and get past it. This is
somebody that's on advertisements on Hulu. This is somebody that's on advertisements on the side of the road. This person's this person's,
and it wasn't just me.
Everything.
This has happened to so many people, and I'm going to be reaching out. That I have a very powerful entity that is gathering behind me right now. Yeah. And it's basically the more people that I could find that will come forward, even if they have NDAs, some kind of confidentiality to where they're scared to talk. These people, their legal department will back them up. They will 1000% cover it. Even if it comes to millions and millions of dollars worth of legal, they will handle it. But I just have to get my voice out there, and it's a fight because mainstream media, they're not, the Daily Mail did one article about me, but nobody else even picked it up from there because they're scared. So it's like, I'm going to fight everything I can to try to, do what I need to do.
So it's been 9 years. Where are you at in this whole process after 9 years?
So I, went through the whole lawsuit stage. My own lawyer told me I should withdraw and try to go back to the negotiation tables. Said he would try to negotiate on the golf course. So I feel like I was kind of railroaded by my own attorney there at the last one. So it's just been a long now I've just got to the point where I have nothing to lose. They can't really. So if they try to sue me right now and take something from me, it's laughable because all they're going to do is bring attention to my story. So I'm just at the end of my road. I don't give a shit at this point. It's just like, bring it on.
Well, and you're making mention of other people coming forward, and I truly believe you aren't the first case of the Kardashians screwing somebody over to do something, and
there's articles about it.
Yeah, and it's not and think about all the people that don't have articles about it. Think about all the people that are too terrified to come out and say anything about it through years and years of stuff,
employees
even, and I would advise, banding together. Like that's just one of those things right there. You are way more powerful in numbers, if for anybody that has had the experience or that has dealt with them, that has something to come forward about, like this is the way to do it. If you guys start putting yourselves together, like what is she, they're not going to be able to ignore you. They're not going to be able to, go away when you've got that much of a ruckus starting to get caused about it. And that, that in itself is great, so, and, with that, so if I did see on YouTube the other day, actually, one of your videos, you were saying that you do, and it's fine that they don't want to be disclosed yet, but you do, you have been speaking with someone else that has been drugged through it with them too. And, how's that going? Is it kind of a similar story to yours?
They're similar. They're ready to go. It's just they have a very specific non-disclosure per, they get penalized like per time they say something kind of thing. It's pretty strict, and they're an old couple that they're basically living week to week. They should be retired, so they can't really take any chances right now. So they need like written assurance from this entity. I just have to keep it as general as I possibly can.
Hey, man, I understand you're still trying to walk. You're
can't
still
take
trying
any
to walk through
chances.
some eggshells and loopholes yourself, and it's
this could be major. I just don't want to take any chances. Even if it takes me doing what I'm doing for another year or two, if I gather enough people that aren't scared to talk about it, this could be a game changer for that family.
And I mean, not only this family, but there's celebrities a lot like politicians don't seem to be held accountable. Look at Alec Baldwin here recently, just murdering someone and being right back into the world.
Got enough money to make it go away.
Ezra Miller, the director's hoping that everybody's going to forget about Ezra Miller's crimes over this movie they've literally said this. And like, that dude's committed every crime, every known felony under the sun in the past 2 years. And it's time that I think all of these people are held accountable. I don't think there's any reason that just because you're a wealthy celebrity should be that you're treated any better in the law than the rest of us. It's absolutely ridiculous that they can just pay their way right out of whatever it is.
But that's how it's always gone, though.
Sure.
Wait, that's how it's always been. Look at politicians. Politicians.
To me, it's one of the same now.
Politicians and actors. Yep, same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do have to say, you have one hell of a fight, man. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope I really have the highest of hopes for you, because
I appreciate that.
I mean, nobody would rather see, and it's not just that. It's like that family has contributed nothing to society, nothing, and they have this much power to completely, just because they want something, to bully you and destroy you and leave you with nothing, just because they want to take something. They have contributed nothing to society, and they have the power to do this, all because of their name.
She wanted her boobs and her butt on an emoji, basically. So she threatened to sue myself and the co-founders of an anti-cyberbullying app, so she could get access to that and the stupid emoji app.
But that's
clown platinum, right?
Exactly.
There.
That's the nature of clown world we're living in right now.
Oh man, like it's just
Yeah.
and it's one of those situations where you're kind of kicking yourself in the ass at a little bit at the same time too, because you were trying to do the right thing with your anti-bullying app there. I can understand that. I'm prone to getting some quite interesting hate mail along with trolls online myself, and I'm the kind of guy that's just going to ignore it for the most part. I might fire back with a meme or something, but like it's to me though, it's that was a good cause. You get people out here that are absolutely dragged just because of a birth defect or something like that, and that's
A lot of it was kids, and I had teenage daughters. A lot of it's just like kids that don't understand. They just shouldn't see certain words, see certain things at a certain age. And that was a
I
way
agree.
for parents to protect, and for a lot of also businesses that didn't. Disney, they didn't want people talking about male parts and female parts and whatever on their comments on social media. So like stuff like that, like it was very useful. It was a tool that obviously was useful because it's now part of major social media platforms.
And I heard you making mention earlier, like even they were saying, oh, we're working on something, you don't need these guys. I gotta say, if you were already in the app store, man, obviously you were already something that was being used or being worked with. So
we had thousands of users.
Yeah. So you were definitely being, at least the technology or the whatever it is that you guys helped create there, like it was at least something that was being eyed already. And 100%, if this is something that's been implemented in other places, and these are things that you guys put your hard work and time into with a paper trail, according to yourself, like that's man, that's unjust. Like that again, like I said, I've already said it, but that's one of those situations where it's just like these are the things that need fixing in society. This is where our judicial system has become an absolute joke. We'll gladly put away some poor sap that was down on his luck and smoked a little pot or something, or just to find some release. But dang, we can let somebody steal practically millions of dollars out of somebody's mouth, and they get away with it just because of their name. And then I mean, and they only really have a name, if you really think about it, because of the O.J. Simpson trial. Nobody knew who they were. Like
that's
between that
and
then
the truth.
And Ray J. Obviously, thanks to Ray J, they got the next big step up.
Well, I figured it was more along the lines of what it had to do with like her having a lot in common with Hurricane Matthew. They blew into the entire East Coast and just got on TV.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
through Paris Hilton, because wasn't she like an organizer for Paris Hilton in the very, very beginning? Like she was like a sidekick, socialite sidekick.
Just like one of those extra people compared to that. And and that's one of those things, like people like that, like you made mention of it earlier, Bandit, and I'll tie into it some more too. Like, what have they contributed to society? Like, look at the Paris Hiltons and the Kim Kardashians. They get on TV, they shake their ass, and they act cool.
Paris Hilton, that family owned hotels, so
exactly,
they contributed something.
Her parents
she was
did.
Born
She
into,
did. She was born
into it.
Into the clout, and Kardashian. Like, so a lot of people, I've learned a lot since this has, I've gone through this whole press thing. A lot of people have told me a lot of things, and Kim, all she's ever wanted was to be like an A-list celebrity. So she's going to the Met Gala, like she's there. She's made it. This is what she's always wanted, and she's not really. She went the back way in. She didn't really have to do anything, And now she's going to be on American Horror Story. A lot of people are very upset about that, but that's like she back way in herself to acting more or less.
Oh, I'm
it's a legitimate
back way into acting. Like, I mean, it's a shame that you can do so true little for society. And truly what I think, like, it's the adverse for society. Like these are the people and the reasons like that you kind of needed to create that app to help from bullying and from seeing things that people don't need to see, and stuff like that. I have kids myself. They don't even know what social media really is yet, like, because I'll be damned if I want them to get involved in all that nonsense.
Good for you, man.
And especially when you see, those are the things that, I don't know, that seems to be the outcome, seems to be what things have led to, is just this idea of vanity, I guess you could call it, and
like how we should be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When there's there's so many other things that you could get into that realm of stuff, that would just
it's become very unnatural.
Yes. They talk about all these expectations for, people and stuff like that, and how it's just the bar's set too high and yada yada. And it's just because you put people, I've always said, you put stupid people on a pedestal, and these are the results you're going to get. And it seems to be a common problem in America for at least a big chunk of my life, is we like to put the stupid people on a pedestal.
And people are adapting to it, and they're adapting to it themselves. Some, like I'm not trying to trash talk them or anything, but look at Kylie Jenner. She looked fairly normal, and now she, to her own self, didn't really need to do anything, but she's like totally like reconstructed the way that she looks now, and it's like, why? For no reason. She's like adapted to this fake look, and it was totally unnecessary.
It's astonishing, like, to just see people put so much time and money into
not even to mention the money they're spending.
And into the things to inject their body or to rebuild their body to look a specific kind of way too. Like I that's one of those things that has just always blown my mind. I'm like, why stuff yourself with so much plastic? Like, we're already taking in enough microplastic as it is across this planet. Like, is there any reason to make yourself more plastic and make all these altercations? Because you're right. You look at some of the things before and after, not just in their aspect either. You look at some of these other people out there in the celebrity world, and their before and after. They were actually attractive people until they started putting Lord knows what in their body.
Are we like the public, like telling them to change themselves? I just I don't understand what's happening. All of a sudden, people are just like changing.
Right. It's become back in the day, you'd hear about like boob jobs and stuff like that, but now there is literally about a plastic surgery job for just about everything you could think of, and they're handing it out, they're giving it out basically, compared to what they used to. It's just astonishing. I don't know. Like, I do think that, like, a stance like you're taking, though, like, this is one of those key stepping stones, whether it be, more people coming and speaking up about your situation, or somebody else speaking up about a similar situation with an entirely another group of people. I feel this is happening across the board in a lot of cases.
Think about it this way. If this is, and I don't like to, I'm trying to think of another analogy to use besides like David versus Goliath, because I don't like using biblical references. But, if you actually come out on top of this, this could set a precedent.
Yes.
From other people that have been screwed over by people in power. And I'm not just talking about like celebrity wise, I'm talking like political too.
Across the board.
Across the board of people that have been screwed over by these people in power. And these lowly peasants just take the loss because they're like, I can't possibly do anything against these people. I can't stand up to these people. They're too rich. They're too powerful. They know too many people. And all of a sudden, along comes David fighting the entirety of the Kardashian family, because that's what you're doing. You're not just fighting Kim. When you fight one person like that, their entire family and everybody they know gets involved. So you are taking on the entirety of that group.
The Jenner clan.
Yeah, and here comes David. David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath. That was somebody made a comment on TikTok.
Yes, exactly. And you come out on top, this could set a precedent for other people. And if I was somebody in power, if I was a celebrity, if I was a socialite, a internet influencer, or anything like that, I would be scared of the outcome of this. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you could, in fact, have
could be that first
quite a large group of people watching you right now. Every move you make.
Yeah. Well, they already sent me a cease and desist email. It was pretty funny, actually, trying to tell me that they lost $244,000 on the Kimoji business and there's no upside for me, and basically admitting that, like, well, you may be wrong about all other stuff, but we didn't really make any money, so there's no money here for you. It's like admitting it, but also not. It's like, it was really weird. And Kris Jenner was copied on the email. So it's just I think things are lining up even more for me, because that was kind of a gift.
If you're not familiar with, like legal lingo and stuff like that, they will try to intimidate you and, and place fear when they're just really talking circles, like you just said. They basically admitted, it just didn't make any money. That's why
it's not defamatory if it's true anyways. And all they could do, which it's been weeks, they haven't sued me. What are you going to do? Sue me. Literally, if that's what you have to do, then go ahead and sue me, and let's get to the bottom of this. Speak your piece.
Yeah, because if you're being untrue, then of course they would absolutely have something to go on. But that's the thing.
I'd love for them to speak their piece and say, this is what you're wrong about, Mr. Liebensohn. This is, and then, this platform gets big enough, and my cousin Dan, the other co-founder, and the other guy, Narayan, the other co-founder, the one that sent the text message that kind of messed the deal up and gave her the ability to do this. Well, so these two other individuals and a whole group of other people that were involved will all come forward and speak their piece too. I just happen to be the one right now that's like, screw it, I got nothing to lose, come sue me. They're like, nah, don't sue me yet. They got families, they got something to lose right now, they got a home to lose, stuff like that. So they're staying far away from this for now.
But sometimes being driven to the point of nothing to lose is what it takes, I think, maybe to pull your britches up and go after something.
This is too big to let go, man. Seriously, This is just this is one of those things where right? It's just too big to let go.
I'm getting sued by the Kardashians. How could I possibly let that go? Dude, sometimes, and I don't want to say that I know how you feel, because this seems like, because we've all been down in a ditch before. You've come to the right group if you want to talk about being in a ditch somewhere. But I don't want to say I know how you feel, but I have that same feeling as you. If I was being sued by the Kardashians, I'd be like, no, we're not going to let this go. I've got nothing to lose, and I'm going to continue for as long as it takes. Sometimes you just gotta whittle them down enough and just be persistent enough for them to finally go, okay, dude, what's it going to take, for you to just go away?
Yeah. Well, they're going to see billboards on their way to their offices and on the way to go out for the night to LA. And, this is going to get bigger, and they're going to see, the bigger budget I get from people that are supporting me.
Yeah.
This is going through, I'll sleep in my car for months. I don't care. Everything that I can is going right back into banners, signs, whatever I could do. And hopefully I can afford billboards soon. But
right?
I'm going for it here. I'm not backing down.
If you drag somebody through the mud long enough, if you drag them on social media long enough, if you drag them out in their personal life long enough, and hound them and stalk them online long enough, karma will come. Karma's a bitch and will come back to you in the worst way possible.
Hey,
it really will.
That sounded familiar there, Bandit.
Yeah, I hit a little at home. But no, it really will, man.
And I will go as far as I can without breaking any actual laws, but I will do everything that I possibly can to make this as uncomfortable as possible for her.
So,
because this is embarrassing. She wants to be a lawyer,
Yeah. I mean, how? So
newspaper ads? Do they?
I would assume that you've had plenty of people. You've had plenty of people contact you over the years saying that they too have been screwed over by the Kardashians or the Jenners in one way or another, right?
So here's the thing. When I was going through all the legwork for my lawsuit in 2019, I reached out to as many of these people as possible, and they all had some kind of, they either told me flat out they had a confidentiality agreement, they couldn't talk about it, or they just didn't even reply to me. So I'm going to be reaching back out to all these people. There's an article with a list of 17, but then there's also so many that aren't listed on these articles that I'm going to be reaching out to all of them with a new pitch. Like, hey, you will be protected now. You can have a voice, and, there may be something in this for you on top of, redemption, So I think it'll be different years later and with the ability to protect them. So I'm really hoping I get at least, I only need 2 more, and we're going for it.
Yeah,
this will be something everybody's going to know about.
If enough people come forward and say, man, fuck those non-disclosure agreements, they can't sue everybody.
That's what they said. That's what they said basically. And if they did, it would just be better for what their plan is if they did. So it's just at this point, this is really dangerous for them. It really is. So it's just, I just need to find enough time to find these other people and make my voice big enough, to get them to come to me.
Yeah. Between making your voice big enough to come to them, and like you said, kind of since it's grown some since then, it's good to try to reach out to those people again. Maybe try to find the ability to actually meet them face to face, so you can shake their hand and have a cup of coffee and a conversation with them to see if you could change their mind just enough to be like, look, guys, the only way we're going to do this is together, and this is, this goes for a lot of things that we talk about over here on the show a lot of the time, man. That's what it's going to take, is more people talking to their neighbor and figuring out what you can do to, make this situation better, whether it be in the real world with the clown world stuff we're dealing with, or whether it be the fact you were screwed over by Kim Kardashian or any celebrity at that matter. I can't give that up. I know I keep saying this a lot on the show, and everybody that's out there listening and watching from home and stuff, I know I get on your nerves with this, but there's totally a list of celebrities that did some terrible things clearly by going to an island. And I just want to know why people are being held responsible for all these kind of things, whether it's these celebrities that are doing nasty things like that, or celebrities that are screwing everyday people like you, me, and David here, that are just trying to live our good life and get by. And these people already got everything that they have. Why do they need to take even more from us like that?
Yeah.
That's one of those things I don't seem to understand. I hear people complain about the welfare state all the time. And this is one of those laughing situations that I get into. I'm like, well, look at your giant celebrities with these giant corporations that they're endorsed by and stuff like that, or they even own, they get subsidies left and right every day. They're your welfare state. Your rich people continue to get richer because they're the ones who can get more money. That's why we don't, that's why things have progressed to the point that it has. It's a common thing in life now that households are dual income households, if not more, where, when our grandparents were doing it, Grandpa was the only person that had to go to work, and
times have changed.
Times have changed, and when they've got you all the way down to nothing, you find yourself in 2 and 3 jobs like yourself here, man. I know you're out there having to truck it right along just to find a place to be able to get yourself some sleep at night, man. And I think all of this is admirable. I know it sucks, and I know it seems like you're probably having the time of your life in a lot of these situations, but I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel in this one.
I see it, and that's what motivates me. Having this much support, it's been overwhelming, honestly, because there's been maybe a handful of bad comments and millions and millions of views and thousands of comments and like so much support. And it's just like, so even if I am still, kind of going, personally going through somewhat of a hard time, it's just like, regardless, I feel like the world is behind me and they're telling me, don't give up. We got you. You got this.
That's that
I'm not
double-edged
going
sword,
to.
man.
I'm
That's
definitely not going to now.
me and Bandit talk about it all the time about, the internet being a double-edged sword. And that's that thing right there. Like so many people are out there that are, nasty and internet trolls and will say the Lord knows what to you. But when you do have all of these people that show up in the troves to support you and to pat you on the back and tell you to keep going, man, that's when the stuff's getting good. Like,
when the internet needs to be good, the internet's good.
Yes. And that's great. So, I always like to make sure that you've got an opportunity that everybody can actually come and find all of this. Obviously, Kim Kardashian, ruinmylife.com, like your shirt says there, but we can find you pretty much on all of social media, can't we?
Yeah, so I had almost 40,000 followers on my Instagram, and it was I'm assuming it was attacked by their supporters and mass targeted, reported. So I'm working on getting that back, but I do have a backup. So all of my social media is my first initial last name, so D Liebensohn right now, and then my website, and there's a change.org petition. Anybody could share any of my posts, any of my stuff, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. That's one thing I like to do over here is with this episode, we will make sure I've got every single link there is with this episode across all the audio streaming apps and the video apps, as well as our website over there, unconstitutionalawakening.com, so that you guys can get your way back over here to David and give him as much support as you can. Like this, he's fighting a good fight here. Like this is, a lot of people are like, it's just a celebrity, but no, you don't. To me, these are some of them top level celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got the money and they've got hands in a lot more things than celebrity life because they've got that.
I feel like I should paint a little bit of a picture as to like why we even messed with them to begin with. Because some people are like, well, why did you even, get into bed with them, so to speak, to begin with? And, there's a recorded conversation that I don't know if I put it on my website yet, but there's where you can hear Kim, basically selling to us how she wants to be in anti-cyberbullying and she's looking out for her family, her sisters. She wants to start a foundation and use our app and our logo and everything. So like, I'm thinking, she wants to do something serious here. She wants to take her socialite, sex tape, persona that she's got now and turn it into do something major with it. She had her video game. She wants to be a tech mogul now, and she wants to do some good things.
Yeah.
So that's what we saw, and that's what she sold us on. So that's ultimately why we decided, to partner with her. It wasn't just like we were obsessed with Kim Kardashian. Like, let's go, after her.
Sure. No, 100%. She painted this picture to you guys, and this is, that right there sounds, I know we keep giving it to the same kind of look about being like into politics and stuff like that, but it sounds like the same thing where somebody's just telling you what you want to hear so that you can get in on this. And they can
I would use the terms.
Over.
I would use the term celebrity with her very loosely. I would say more like grifter. No, seriously though, I
agree, man. It does suck to call her a celebrity. It really does.
It is not, because whenever you think of celebrities, you think of musicians and you think of actors. And when I say musicians and actors, I mean people with real talent, man. I got to specify when I say, because today modern celebrities, modern musicians, and modern actors don't hold a candle to, real talent. And so I have to specify on both accounts. But grifters extraordinaire. The entirety of the family. Really, I mean, really, there would the only reason that they are even remotely famous is because one, Bruce Jenner really was an outstanding Olympian, outstanding.
Sure.
And two, Robert Kardashian was one hell of a lawyer.
And he was linked to the OJ trial.
Yeah, and technically, neither of them exist anymore. Technically, neither one of them exist anymore. So everybody that had anything to do, that had any type of talent with that family, is gone.
True.
Yeah.
Because now it's just plastic and selfies and and
all
reality TV.
It's all fake front.
Apparently screwing over everyday people on a regular basis. Like it seems to be a trend that's going along, with their lifestyle. And that's, I think I keep saying it, but I think it's super admirable at the fight you're fighting, man. And I am completely behind this. And, I feel honored that I was give you the opportunity to come over here today and tell us about this, man, because
I appreciate that. I'm honored to be on the show. Yeah, I'm just so grateful. All the support, really.
Oh, man,
it's amazing.
And I'm gonna keep in on the loop with this as it's going on. So do look forward to having you back again in the future. And
for sure.
We'll
do some updates.
So now, the show's going to take a little bit of a turn for a moment here, man. We have this ridiculous segment of my show where I use an AI generator to give me random questions to ask my guests, just to kind of humanize them and have some fun with them and have a few laughs for the evening. So,
all right, let's do it.
So tonight's is from Thought Catalog, another one of these AIs that I've just randomly found. And my first question that pops up is, can you fold a fitted sheet?
Ooh, no.
No. Bandit, are you even in here?
I absolutely can.
You can?
I absolutely can.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Witchcraft.
Absolutely can.
All right. So the second question that comes up on it this evening is, if you were abducted by aliens and they telepathically asked you what you wanted to bring with you on the spaceship, what are 3 items you would pick?
That's a good question. So, skateboard, skate shoes, and a jacket.
Those are all reasonable, because I bet you could do some awesome skateboarding inside of a UFO. I mean, with the shape that it is.
I've just never really went anywhere without it long term. So
nice. Bandit, what 3 items you bring with you?
Let's see. I'm gonna take a pair of Crocs, a Polaroid camera.
Ooh, camera going.
Polaroid camera, my Crocs.
Are you planning on going to the dimension where
I'm staying there. I'm not coming back.
Are you planning on going to the dimension where idiosyncrasy is real? Because that's
Idiocracy. Yeah. That's my plan. Oh,
God. Fair. All right. Of course, because you never know where these questions are going to go. And, I can always hit the refresh button if you do choose to pass one. So what is the funniest or weirdest thing that's ever happened to you on a date?
Man.
I like this one.
Can't even really think of anything, honestly.
Actually.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's hit or miss, man. There's been some on here that I've just been like, oh, that's just dumb. And I'll hit the refresh button a million times before I come up with a question.
Not necessarily like the weirdest, but awkward too.
Awkward.
My most recent ex was there. That was, yeah.
That's pretty awkward.
That's weird and awkward.
That is awkward. Well,
honestly, I haven't really done a whole lot of dating other than after I got my divorce. Everything's just been like online, and can't really think of anything weird. And then
you're dating the entirety of the Kardashian clan right now.
I mean,
haven't had time for it.
Yeah.
Well, just because of that, I went ahead and hit the refresh one more time to give us one more. So, what is the funniest thing you believed as a kid?
I mean, Santa. I mean,
Fair.
I believe that for a while.
Wait, like the real Santa? Are you?
I mean, I believed it up until like when I was like 6 or 7, and I felt pretty silly all the way after.
Bandit. When were you going to tell me that he wasn't real? No, no one. I don't have my cell phone anymore, so I can't fill it in with good things.
Nah.
Fine. Anything from you, Bandit?
I as a kid, I believed the government was there for our greater good.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And how'd that go for you?
Oh, hey, I'm here right now, aren't I?
You do come and hang out here. Listen,
We're a lot more trusting in our government when we're younger.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah.
We believe the food pyramid, deal, and everything.
So much, man. But hey, 5 million kids have chose to be homeschooled this year. Or 5 million parents have chose to
Good for them.
homeschool kids this year. And I think that's a great thing in itself.
Sure, the parents aren't the most stoked, but good for the kids.
Hey, man, like I'm one of them myself. And, some days are better than others. But, I think I'd rather have them here with me than having to worry about them.
Yeah, safety-wise, for sure.
And the mess that it is just period today, man. It's
physically and what they're being taught. Like, you just never know, like, all of it.
Yeah. You don't know what story time's going to be like this time in this day and age, because there's all kinds of crazy things going on there. So, but of course, again, anything to get back to David, you guys, I will have that with this episode over on the website, as well as across the platforms, man. You guys know, just scroll down there underneath, click on it and get back to him. Tell him Jimbob sent you when you go over there and visit him and stuff, man. You guys go over there and give this guy some support, because I think he needs all the backing up he can possibly get when it comes to this situation. And I know you've got me behind you, bud. Like, I think this is admirable, and I am going to help spread your message as much as I can with this from moving forward, man, because this is a good cause. A great cause. Thank you. Bandit, you got anything? Any final thoughts?
No, man. Hey, I don't know what your the whole how smoothly it's running for you, but we'd love to hear from you at least once a month.
Yeah, let's do it
on an update. Monthly updates on whether or not David has taken down the Kardashian clan.
And hopefully you guys see me in the news.
Well, it really would be. I mean, it really is. Like, you give people hope. You really do. It not just like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter that you win, but it's just the fact that you are standing up to them, knowing full well that they have an unlimited amount of money and resources to take you down, that you are standing up for the little guy in this. It gives people hope. You give the small person a voice.
Yeah. And,
that in and of itself is great.
If there's anybody out here that has, issues with Kim Kardashian in the past, that has been screwed over by her, man, this is the guy you need to get in contact with. Like, this fellow right here is going to help you guys get it back going, man. Like, don't be afraid to speak up.
Definitely.
It's more of a thing time than now than ever for you guys to come together on this thing, man. So
this is the time.
I will have all that stuff out there for you guys. And of course, you guys know that I can't leave the evening without giving you something good to do with. So I have your nightly pirate question so that you guys can totally still get you some free Unconstitutional Awakening the podcast merch, man. It's something I'm going to keep going on until I run out of stickers or you guys quit answering questions, whichever comes first. But that's why I try to keep them cheap, pretty easy, man. This one should be pretty good. So, who used the poop cabin? Was it A, the crew, B, the poopers, or C, the captain? And you guys can answer that over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com underneath this episode, where you can find all your links to get back to David and have things going, man. So I guess it's time for us to weigh anchor and get on out of here. So good night, everyone.